I was watching a show. I even sent the video to my sister that there was somebody who they've gone to France and the king was walking up to them. This is in like, I don't know, 1946, something like that. The king is walking up and this British military guy, he bows and he says, oh, blah, 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 blah. He says in French. And the king is standing there with all these people behind him. And they all started laughing at him, at how he spoke French. And he's like, excuse me, the king says, I apologize for my people that they like make fun of. They always, something along the lines like they always laugh at people when they don't speak French properly. And I remember my sister said that with French people that sometimes they'll laugh at you if you're not speaking French correctly.
Yeah.
I remember she told me that, and I didn't really believe her because I thought maybe she's just saying that because, you know, she's new with French. But then I saw it on that TV show where they were like, the guy spoke something in French and he was trying, and all those people just laughed. And I was like, oh my God, that's I mean, Americans do that. I'm not trying to make it sound like, you know, Americans are so much better.
But less maybe. They do it, but French do it a lot.
But okay, and that's what my sister was telling me. But why? Like, because French is really hard to learn. She was telling my sister told me.
Oh yeah.
Like, if it's so hard to learn, then why are you laughing at people who are trying? I don't understand.
I know. It makes no sense. I don't know, because we as French, we have a tendency of thinking that we are the center of the world, even though the world is round, and being the center of a planet that is a globe is very subjective.
Yes.
And even though we live in the universe,
well,
that's more subjective.
I've always felt that Americans, a lot of Americans, they don't like the French, but the reasons why they don't like the French are the very reasons why a lot of people don't like Americans. It's the same thing, because Americans think we're the center of the world, we're the best thing ever, blah, blah, we're the only ones that matter. Everybody wants to be us, you know, all that kind of stuff. And so I was like, yeah, and France has always been very unapologetic about like, no, you're not better than us. We are better than you. Not like, and Americans are like, if we go somewhere as a tourist, everybody's supposed to be so nice to us because they want our money. But the French don't care. The French are just like, we don't care about your money. We don't care about you. We're not impressed. And if you don't speak French, then if you don't try to speak French, then we're just going to act like you're not there. Like, I thought that was crazy, but it is. And only because the language is so difficult to learn is why I was surprised. Not that English, again, is so easy, but it sounds like French is even harder because my sister says the tiniest thing can change the meaning for so much.
Right.
Okay, so now I know.
I don't know how to answer your question because I'm not sure, but what exactly, but I agree with you. I concur. Like French, we think we're the center. We think our culture is less money oriented. Maybe, you know, there's more safety nets in France than in the US.
And so culturally speaking, if I go to France and I'm trying to speak French and I'm like making a whole mess of it, they'll laugh at me, is what my question was.
There's this very cynical culture of making jokes and making fun of someone, which magnifies the being ashamed of, and doesn't encourage people to actually make the effort and not caring about.
I mean, I just, only because like knowing you, I'm like, well, I can't imagine you laughing at somebody trying to speak French. So I was like, no,
I'm half French only. Let's say, I don't know, you know.
Okay.
And because of my background is multicultural, you know, so I don't know. Yeah, but yes, but I'm pretty French too. Sometimes I have these bad tendencies as well. So
no, I do that all the time when people will say, well, I say something about black people, and then they're like, oh, and I say, well, I'm only half black. I'm only black on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
yeah. But the problem is that you're never part of something, and whenever you're somewhere, then you're not part of us. You're not part of us.
Oh yeah. No, it's true, and they don't. And some people, you tell them, I'm half this, half that. And for whatever reason, they decide, no, you're just this. They don't even acknowledge the other part. When I was in Puerto Rico and I would say, well, I'm half black, they're like, that doesn't make a difference. You're just Puerto Rican. And in Philadelphia, when I was growing up, being Puerto Rican was not really considered it, because I couldn't speak Spanish. Like, if you can't speak Spanish, then you're not Puerto Rican, you know, because I hadn't learned Spanish yet. So some people will decide you're both things. Some people will only recognize one side or the other. I can relate where sometimes on how you are with your parents, that if you aren't really connected to a parent that's of a particular race, then you might not necessarily feel a part of that race just because of the relationship with that parent.
I think I'm 100% French. I'm 100% everything that I am, with, progress and sometimes, the bad and the good. I'm 100%. I mean, nobody can take that away from me,
Correct. Like how people choose to define you has nothing to do with you.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say I'm half French at all. I'm 100% French and 100%, so yeah, my grandfather, was an officer in the French army. He went to jail because he was protecting France. My grandmother even has a honor medal for helping French Alliance, l'Alliance Française. So whatever, even if I don't have that, I have a Colombian grandmother now. She's turning 100 years old. I'm 100% Colombian. I have an Argentinian godson. I don't care if you don't understand who I am. It's just the way I am, and I'm 150% who I am. Whatever.
So your Spanish side is from Colombia?
Yeah. So my dad's Colombian. So
Okay.
that in it is a whole word to understand. And then my mom was born in Argentina, and Argentinians are like Americans in a way because they're a lot issued from the European immigration, all of this or
Yeah.
whatever, blacks, Asians, Latinos now, more recently. And that's part of the history of what it is to be an American.
Yes. All right. So I can imagine Neela's like, I don't understand why they're still talking.
Yeah.
All right.
She's in her she's in her session. She applied to a program manager, a product manager a school. So she's studying every Saturday. So she's still busy until February.
Oh wow. Okay.
She doesn't
All
care
right.
right now.
So now
But that's more for you. You're spending all this time, and I mean, I love it.
Yeah. All right. So then, yeah, I'll say. So then, what I will do is when you do those pages, okay.
Yes.
When you do the pages and you've done all you need to do, then let me know. I will go in
Exactly
to fix it up, and I'll do the mobile side of it.
Okay.
That way you can play around. I mean, and obviously, the sooner you get it done, the better. But I will also know that sometimes you just have to walk away because the website's not doing what you want it to do. It doesn't make any sense. So
right.
so yeah, I will leave the website alone until you let me know, and then I'll just go through those pages and break them down. And if there's something like, let's say the word levels is still levels, I can obviously change that out and then put the levels that you want.
And just if anybody's listening to this right now, we have one spot available for rubies, 2.5 spots for baby wires. So baby wires are beginners. They're A2 level, and unlimited spots. I mean, whoever wants to participate to the Jedi level, which happens to be tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time, is welcome. Every week, there are right now 3 spots available for tomorrow. And Navid, if you hear us, I sent you a message about your picture. Would love to be able to use it when you were in a session, in the Jedi session. So these are the 3 groups we have under the Alt French workshop. And there's a different format, which is called the Casual Saturday. It's just for folks who, let's say, would like to join only for that hour on Casual Saturday, where we don't have any agenda, where we share together. It's limited to 4 per level. So baby wire or rubies at this point. That is a different pricing. The baby wire is a different pricing is less expensive than the rubies because of it's less hours also, but it's led by Isabel. It's just the way it is. I have an intervention once per week. I'll put all that information on the website now in a more organized way, hopefully, for you to
Yeah, I mean,
find
and
that out.
believe me, I know that it takes time.
Yeah,
That's just the nature of it. So it's totally fine. And I do think that you are very much on track for May 3rd, having like everything being exactly what we want it to be. The transparency, yes, but the clarity, just so that there's
yeah,
no room for confusion. The people will be sent exactly to the page with the information that they want,
exactly.
and it'll be glorious for sure.
Exactly. And yeah, other than that, any entertaining thoughts that you have that maybe I can share, because all of that was like website and related. I haven't finished your book yet because I started another book for my trading journey. But I really intend to read the entire book because it's so entertaining. I laugh so much, and I learn a lot from the lessons, the life lessons that you showcased with generosity, with also a lot of transparency. It's a lot to the point, and I really enjoyed that reading.
Well, I mean, I was thinking a lot about the book in terms of like even now with me learning how to drive, and every day there's so many crazy challenges that I have to face that I'm like, everybody else faced them. I don't understand. Like for me, so late in life, maybe that's the issue. But and the patience with learning, whether you're learning a new language, or when I was learning how to bartend, or when I was learning now
Yeah.
how to drive, like there has to be a lot of forgiveness for yourself for not knowing something.
Yes.
But yeah, there's so much struggle, but it's good. I'm a better person for it, because all the books that I would write and stuff like that, my characters, they never were driving because I didn't know how to write I didn't know. I didn't even know which pedal was the brakes, so I was like, there was no point in me trying to do that. But yeah, but it's I appreciate the fact that you even bought the book, much less started
Oh, it should be
reading
much
it.
more expensive, folks. If you want to read a very entertaining book about, that's what I was saying last time about the being seduced and the seduced part and all that, what happens in a relationship and at the beginning. I, um, I think I read the part about the photo shoot that happened to
Oh
you.
my god! Oh my god. I will say that photo shoot. It was, at the time I didn't understand it. Like, I didn't see things for what they were. But looking back now, I understand that in life, people really hunt for those individuals who have trouble saying no. And it's not just, I mean, it's how I ended up in that photo shoot, because they could tell that I was like, I didn't want to do it, but I was just saying, they can tell. And I just felt bad because like all these people are here, what's going to happen? And then they're going to be mad at me, blah, blah, blah. But at a bar scenario, like people can tell like, oh, I want to sleep with that person. And they go and talk to that person. That person doesn't want to be nasty. They don't want to be mean. So they don't want to be rude. So they'll just sit there and just kind of like whatever. And that person will keep giving them drinks and keep talking to them. And they're like, and I realized people look for that. So like sometimes a person is being seductive and sometimes the person is just being manipulative. Like it's just crazy like that.
Yes.
But there is it being very, very nice can easily become being very, very weak.
Yes.
Like you have to be able to stand up for yourself. You have to be able to have enough respect for yourself to say, no, I don't like this. No, I don't want that. You're bothering me. I mean, disrespect, but I would prefer to be alone, or leave me alone, or go away. Something like that. You have to do it, but a lot of people just don't have that. And I didn't have that.
Right. It's almost like I completely concur with you. It's almost like if you don't have an agenda, life will happen to you. Which doesn't mean that if you have an agenda, you should force that agenda on life. A little bit like trading. You need a plan. You need to know what you're looking for.
Yes.
So at my French community, we're looking for highly motivated French learners. And there's two formats and a half, I would say. There's the main format is the Alt French workshop, where we're in a small group, we show up a lot in French, and we have a blueprint, but at the same time, you're the center of that journey, and we're all together. And so we have an agenda, but whoever comes at me and is has is a match for that, that's perfect. I'm not deciding, it's and then there are other paths that you can go on. You can do all the other paths. You can learn on yourself. You can go to a school. You can go to France. You can. So yeah.
Well, and the truth is, like, there is a difference between people who where things happen to them and people who make things happen. And when you let things happen to you, that's where you really go into wishful thinking. Well, I hope this, I hope that, whatever. And life in general doesn't quite work in your favor that way. So if you go to another country, if you're joining even just a learning group or whatever, and you think, I'm just going to sit here and wait for people to try to talk to me and to encourage me and so forth. No, you have to be in the driver's seat of your own life. You have to empower that. If for any other reason, so that people can understand what it is you want. Because when you're passive, people don't necessarily know what you want, or if you even want to be engaged or anything like that. So yes, I'm a big advocate for people, really taking charge of what they want. And that does not mean take charge of other people, but take charge of the experience that you are looking to have.
Exactly. So that is exactly what the idea of the Alt French, meaning you are in charge, not us. Not we are just a resource for you, but we want you to be even more in charge. Meaning that there's only it's maximum 4. Sometimes it's 3. It can even be on one-on-one. And if you don't show up, if you don't have a plan, Luda she's going to take the DELF exam on May the 22nd. So she has a plan. Divya took the but you don't have to do that. Your plan might be just to become fluent, and you don't have to take that exam. The exam, I'm really against exams in general, but that's the whole topic. But just like you said, you have to take responsibility for your growth, for your and the others are an inspiration. They are a resource. They are a mirror for you to use that feedback and grow. And and the coach is, or the instructor is, a resource, but he doesn't know everything. You know who you are. You should trust that journey, so that it comes to you in unexpected ways, but you more or less have an agenda for what you want for your life. Otherwise, it's going to happen to you, and you might be learning the hard way. If you enter a position in finance and you don't have a plan for it, and you just have wishful thinking, you're going to blow up your account. You're going to blow up your life.
Well, this is where I think that one of the strongest parts of the Alt French workshop, in my opinion, is that the way that the whole thing is structured is that you not only is there the actual curriculum, there's just the basic knowledge and tools that you're getting, but the best way to push through the hesitation, the fears, the awkwardness of learning a new language and so forth is by talking about something that you want to talk about. That's the thing. So as opposed to like when people, I remember when they were like, when I was in grade school and people were trying to learn Spanish in middle school, learning Spanish, and they would have to read these random sentences that were pretty much saying, my cat likes to go outside on Wednesday. That has like, and you're trying to remember that. No, but if you were to go ahead and have me say, okay, well, instead of doing that, you get to talk about comic books because I love comic books. Then if the excitement, the passion for the topic will push you beyond any kind of awkwardness about the language, and therefore then you're having the experience of it. And that to me is like is so powerful versus people saying, well, these are the words for today, you're going to use this. No, you fill someone up with the desire to share whatever that's exciting to them. That's why you said she likes Deanne likes doing the presentations. Great, you go do the presentation, you show you're passionate about this, and people will. What makes them want to learn more is if they've already had an experience where they communicated something like, and oh, also, I got them to understand this. Now I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about this other thing, and you learn all stuff.
And it's very important to do that in an unapologetically way. I would say you shouldn't apologize for showing up the way you are. Show up the way you are. Show who you are. In French, you know, and that way you should enjoy. Don't overthink and be afraid of the judgment of others. Otherwise, you cannot be yourself. Discover who you are. Discover.
Well, but you know, some people are just naturally very timid, right? Which is fine. But if you know that you're timid, like for myself, if you put me in a room with a bunch of people who I don't know, I'm actually very quiet. I stand off to the side, just watching, whatever, so forth. Right. If you put me in a club where you tell me all the guys there look super amazing, they're super hot, and I'm like, oh my God. And I have to assume they're all gay. If they're all gay, then I can actually, okay. But what am I going to do? I'm not going to go up and walk up to somebody and just say, hey, how's it going? I wouldn't do that. However, if I saw they were wearing a shirt that said Battlestar Galactica, which is like my favorite sci-fi TV show, right? If I saw them wearing that shirt, I don't care how hot they look, how intimidating they might be. I'm going to go up and talk to them because I'm so passionate about that show that I forget how awkward I look. You might think that I don't care. I want to talk about the show, and we're going to do this. If he says, well, yes, you're looking nice, but I'm married. I don't care that you're married. I just want to talk about the show. So when people are learning another language and it's like, well, did I say this right? Is this the right tense and so forth? You forget about those things when you are very passionate about the subject matter. That's why I love that thing where they get those topics and stuff like that, because then all these other things just tend to not be as big of a deal.
And I think this, just to build up on that, just if we are only a group of 4 students max, it's possible. It's possible because, well, maybe someone shares something and you're not that interested in that particular thing, but if that person is passionate about it, you know, at least you have some respect for that. And then you still have some time to share your own things. And that is really at the heart of this thing, this Alt French, that your input is so crucial because it's so easy to just not follow through on your goal to become fluent. You know, once you're fluent forever.
And 4 is a great
practice, but
4 is a magical number because with 4, if there's 4 people on this call right now, right? And I decide I'm not going to say anything, it's obvious. You can't hide in the shadows when there's only 4 people. With 5, you can almost get away with that and so forth. Everybody's having the discussion. But with 4 people, you're almost in a very gentle way pushed to go ahead and engage. You know, you either you engage or then or you know what, people then will ask you, so forth. So I like that there's the 4 people, because if I was with 4 people, yes, I would feel like, okay, well, I have to say something because I'm part of this group. If there was 5, I would try to probably get away with like, oh, well, let me just kind of hide in the shadows and so forth, depending on what they're talking about. But, yes, I love that.
And also just you know, the folks who become fluent are the ones who take the opportunity to practice. Really, it's just that. It's that simple. Like whenever you have an opportunity, take it.
Yes.
Okay. And repetition, through repetition, you're gonna get there.
All right. So for all those people who suffered through the whole website building and stayed to the end, they were able to
cut that part and so
or edit it. Put this in the front.
That's why I'm saying the only way out is the way through. Yes. You know, it's through. You have to go through that pain of making mistakes, of taking all the, and don't delay that. The more you delay taking the mistakes, the more you delay the learning from that mistakes, and the more you continue having a broken French. Yes. Unfortunately, I mean,
because learning a language cannot happen to you. You have to make that happen.
Yeah, you have to be active. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. All right, brother. I will. And here we are, 3 hours later.
Yeah, thank you so much, Achilles. Really, like,
No, no, good. And I think
phenomenal.
this is also a good step because eventually you'll get to a point where if there's something with your website that you need to get done or you have to make a change, now and you have somewhat of the tools to go in and say,
Yes,
okay,
I do.
I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's great. And tell Eli I said hi, and I'll talk to you later on.
Say hi to Shambi if you see her. And yeah,
I gotta.
he
I'm gonna try
emailed me and all of that. So yeah, I have some news.
I need to call her maybe at some point today. I haven't talked to her in a long time. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Surtout, garde ta flamme intacte. No matter what, keep it burning.
Yes, keep it burning. I like that.
Merci beaucoup.
Bye.
Tschüss.